Hey, what's good, everybody? Happy Thursday. It's Thursday already, running a little bit behind today, so I want to get right into this. The markets were basically up today. The Dow was up 140, thanks to some good earnings from some of the Dow names that we'll get to in a second. The S&P was up 1, and the Nasdaq lost 3. Here's the thing. The key word for today was volatility. So if you're a retirement investor, you're going to come home today and go, I don't know, basically nothing happened, looks good, everything seems fine. But the way the markets moved today, the activity level that we saw today created this extra volatility. Actually, the volatility index, let's just go show you that real quick. We'll transfer over here. Volatility index was actually up about 1.5%. So a little spike in volatility because the markets actually wiggled back and forth a lot more than they normally do. One way that I'll show you that is I'll actually go down to a 5-minute time period. So every little blip that you see on this screen is a 5-minute increment. And what you notice is, look at this morning, how the markets fell sharply, rallied sharply, fell sharply, and tried to rally a little into the close, but was unsuccessful. Look at that movement there, that volatility compared back to even something like yesterday. We saw a little bit of that, but then it got quiet. If you go even further back, look at some of these days here. Smaller movement as throughout the morning and into the afternoon. So a big difference when it comes to today's movement. I don't know what that spells going forward. It sure seems like there's a little pressure to the downside. But, you know, hey, we'll see what happens. Again, if you're a retirement investor, you're not really going to notice much today. Maybe a small gain, small loss, but not really much changed. I'll tell you what did change today is American Airlines down another 3%. Yesterday, United came out and said they were going to expand capacity, which remember we talked about when an airline expands capacity, that tends to lower their profit margin. Just because they have more seats available doesn't mean they make a greater profit margin because they have to compete with the other airlines, the other low-cost airlines, to try to get some money in there. Well, American Airlines lost some money today, kind of following through on that. But the CEO came out and he tried to offset this news a little bit. He came out and said that basically with oil prices where they're at right now, that fares are way too low. And so he was hinting at no price war, actually price raising, which I kind of tend to agree because in my spare time, I have fun looking up flights to different areas. So I'm kind of familiar with all the major destinations from my town at least. And I don't see any discounts. I don't see any wars going on. I see prices as high as Disney World. So let's say it that way. Here's the thing, though. He didn't shy away from the comments that oil prices at these levels could translate into higher ticket costs as well. So not only are they thinking we're going to add capacity, but they're also thinking they're going to try to raise the fares. Not officially, but that's kind of what if you listen to the interview, that's sort of what he hinted at. United Airlines, from we talked about yesterday, down another 4% today. Same concept. Airlines as a whole, hey, if you're going to add capacity and oil prices are going higher, we worry about your profit margins. Delta, taking a look over there, that was 3.5% lower on the day. Not too good over there. Let's talk about Home Depot. Big in the news today. Lost about 0.5%. They're going to give out bonuses to their customers, or to their employees, sorry, not customers. They're going to give out bonuses to their employees. The stock was down, down about 0.5%. It's had an amazing run lately. It's up about 10% on the year. But what they said is, we're going to do it like Walmart did it. Depending on how long you've been here is how much we'll give you. Anywhere from $200 to $1,000 bonus. The problem, I don't think that was so much the problem. Because remember, we've seen when companies report a bonus, you know, investors don't really care for that. They want to see the money going towards growth, not really the employees. So stocks have been down on news like that, all the other names. But they also came out and said today, with this new tax reform, because of their overseas sort of efforts and their revenues over there, they could see a tax expense of $150 million in the fourth quarter alone because of these offshore earnings. So pretty impressive there. Let's take a look at the Dow. Some of these Dow names you're going to hear about today. Oh, not Dow. I typed in Dow. Some of the Dow names that you're going to hear about are Caterpillar. Look at the wild day Caterpillar had. This last little blip here is today. All the way down, all the way back up. Was up pre-market and actually wasn't able to hang on to that. It only gained about 0.5% today. It's all earnings based, really. The Caterpillar came in with earnings basically that beat expectations. They guided forward, meaning they said going forward, we expect to meet Wall Street's expectations or better. That's always good news. They also said that they could see a benefit from the new tax reform. But here's the problem. They're very, very smooth about how they do their taxes. They use a Swiss subsidiary to really, really reduce their overall tax bill. Well, the IRS seems to have some problems with that, and they've come in and said, hey, look, we think you owe us these taxes. They're currently going through that scenario of trying to see what that is. Estimates are around $2 billion if they find out that the IRS was correct and they're actually going to have to pay that money. We'll see. I don't know. We'll keep an eye on it. 3M, another big down name today, broke to record highs, up about 2%. They beat on earnings as well. They did very well. Earnings beat expectations, revenues as well. They also announced that they were going to raise their guidance going forward. That's a big deal. People look at the guidance. It's great that you had good earnings last quarter. What do you think about next quarter? And if the company doesn't, say things are good or on pace or even better, that's when stocks tend to take a little bit of a hit. Stock's up about 8.5% on the year. That's pretty cool. The real sort of interesting news, if you follow this, is the dollar. Oh my God, could these people get on the same page with the dollar? Treasury Secretary comes out in the morning, basically agrees with Trump. Weak dollar is what we're looking for. That is in stark contrast to previous Treasury Secretaries that wanted a stronger dollar. So he's actually come out sort of in favor of what the president's looking for. Well, then the president goes on TV and he's having he did an interview, I believe, on CNBC or Fox or something, and basically compliments the dollar. Says that he's something about the strength and sort of goes towards that side. And so immediate, rapid turnaround. Here's a 5-minute sort of look at that. Dollar's down on the day after the Treasury Secretary notes. President Trump goes the opposite direction again, and it just shoots up and starts to reverse. So, oh, you can't see that. This is the beginning of the day where it started lower, and after President Trump's comments, you could see the little spike up there. So pretty interesting. That really sort of reversed and kind of caused gold to take the opposite approach. Gold was doing well here to start the day. As that dollar started to reverse, it obviously fell. That is typically the path that it takes. What else? Really not a lot else that I have ready for you here today. Earnings continue to be the focus. Volatility, like I said in the beginning here, volatility seems to be picking up a little bit, even though the markets haven't fallen. Remember, volatility is a measure of fear, not a measure of market direction. A lot of people get that confused, so keep that in mind. If you're trading those volatility ETFs, you probably should look for a different product, first of all. But just remember, volatility is a measure of fear, not the market's directions. Well, I hope you enjoyed. I'm going to wrap it up. I will not be here tomorrow. I'm taking my daughter to a Florida gymnastics, University of Florida gymnastics meet up at Gainesville. So we're going to go party like we're in college again. Maybe I'll take some pictures and post them on our Facebook. I don't know. We'll see what happens there. Thanks for watching. You might enjoy these 2 other videos on retirement investing. That's what we specialize in, is retirement investing and your personal finances. I hope to see you soon. We'll be back on Monday.